Hey, Mega Moms. Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And we are going to talk about the last 90 days. All right. So, can you believe that we are already entering the fourth quarter? Well, we're about a week away, entering the fourth quarter of 2023. If you're anything like me, this year has flown by. There has been a lot that has happened this year in my life, some huge changes in my personal and my business life. We sold our home. We are living on our 160 acres. We're living in an RV and getting ready to break ground on our new home. So I'm so excited about that. But professionally, I feel like a lot of us real estate agents have had to rethink our strategy. Are you like that? I want to ask you a question and be honest. Last year, this time, we were all goal setting, ready to tackle 2023. Did you or are you on track for your goals this year? I'm willing to bet a lot of you are not. And the reason that is, in my opinion, the market has been so almost flow to the successful and the agent that had kind of that magnetic personality, the ones that are just that have the talent, if that makes sense. For those of you that real estate kind of just came easy to you, I'm willing to venture that a lot of business just fell in your lap, either from your sphere, past clients. There was a lot of people that maybe didn't have to buy, didn't have to sell, that decided to go ahead and buy or sell because the interest rates were crazy low. So it was almost stupid not to buy a house, right? So obviously there was so much demand. Prices were soaring, multiple offers. Everyone was trying to capitalize on getting all the equity they could out of their property, selling it when they could. So, of course, business was pretty easy for those of us that had maybe a little bit of an established brand already, had a great sphere. And so, if we're honest with ourselves, and I'm gonna include myself in this, okay? And a lot of my students, we became complacent. Did you become complacent? And what I mean by that is a lot of the things that I used to have to do when I first started no longer were necessary. Now, I still did professional photos, I still followed most of my systems, but I wasn't having to spend money on ads. I wasn't having to buy Zillow or Realtor.com leads. I really just had a flow of leads coming to me. And if that was you and you've all of a sudden seen a change in your production, I have some good news for you. It doesn't have to be like that. And this is your chance to start over. This is your chance to rededicate yourself for the last 90 days of 2023 so that you can either get yourself back on track and go ahead and reach those goals that you set for yourself because it's not too late, or get the systems and habits in place so that you can kick off 2024 on the right foot. Because what I have learned both with myself and with the students that I coach is that consistent effort yields consistent results. Yes, you may have been a little complacent. Yes, business may have been flowing your way, but now it's time to double down on your systems, on your process, on your sphere, on your lead generation. Get really intentional about your calendar. So I have an announcement. I have 3 openings for an agent, a real estate mega mom that wants to accept a challenge from me. If you will hire me to be your coach for the next or the last 90 days of 2023, you show up to our calls weekly and you do what I ask you to do, which will probably take you about 5 hours a week, 5 to 10 hours a week. If you can commit to that, I will guarantee you will see results in your business in the form of transactions. So if that sounds good to you, you need to click on the link to apply for that. Because I only have 3 spots, I want to go ahead and go over with everyone exactly what I'm gonna take my students through in the last 90 days of 2023. The first thing that you have to get so intentional about is knowing where your money is going. So the first thing I'm going to take my client through in the last 90 days of 2023 is their budget. We're going to go through with a fine-tooth comb, and this part can be painful, but it's also very eye-opening. We're going to go through their personal finances as well as their business finances. We're going to make sure that all of the money that's going out is needed and useful. There's a purpose for it, that they are getting a return on their investment for every dollar. The next thing that I'm going to take my clients through, and I invite you to follow along this journey. This is exactly what I'm going through my step by step for the next 90 days. I want you to really think about these things and go through it for yourself, because you have the chance for this last 90 days to be a game changer. Your entire life and your entire business can change if you just go all in. It is 100% possible for you. And I want you to believe that. I want you to know that and own it. Okay. It is possible. Regardless of your circumstances, regardless of what's going on in your life, if real estate's for you, then you can make it. So that's the next thing, really, that we go through. Once we establish the finances and know where the money's going, know if there's anything that needs to be cut or reduced, we're going to go over goals. And a lot of times that is not just financial goals, that is also our why. And why are we doing this? Why does real estate make sense? For the ones that are watching me or listening to this on podcast, I will venture to say, or honestly make the assumption that you're a mom, because this is real estate mega moms, right? And so for moms, real estate is such a great career to go in because we have the flexibility. And I know you're going to laugh at me and say, yeah, right, Jessica, I don't really have flexibility, but you could. Okay. But you could, because I know you can, because I do. Okay. It does not have to be a 24/7 on-call situation. And that's something else that I take my students through, is this calendar management and boundaries, setting boundaries with our time. So you have this amazing opportunity to make unparalleled income, really, with any other industry within real estate, and control your schedule, be your own boss. And so that's why we're here. I have had some students tell me they feel like they're trapped in real estate because they make such good money with real estate that they know they can't do it anywhere else. And I hope that that's not you. But if that's you, let's kind of dig deep into your why. Dig deep into why you want to sell real estate. What is it going to do for your family? What is it going to do for your finances? So I'm going to go through some goal setting with my student, and we're not only going to look at the why, we're going to also look at where do they want to be within 5 years and 10 years. What does that look like? What does that dream life look like? A lot of times it's not just a number, it's a lifestyle. Having time freedom, having location freedom, having money freedom, not having to worry about finances. Not necessarily, maybe the dream isn't having millions of dollars in the bank. Maybe it's just having a nice savings and not having to worry about bills from month to month. So, whatever the dream is, we're going to get really intentional and strategic about that, and we're going to put a number to it. So your goal is going to be translated to a dollar amount that you're going to put within your budget. So we know that if you contribute X amount to this savings goal, or this investment goal, that you're going to be able to achieve the lifestyle that you want. So how are you going to do this? We're going to combine the personal, business, and your dream goal setting into one budget. And based on that, I'm going to take my student through how many transactions they need to close on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. And when we know that number, then we know how many conversations need to happen every single week in order to have a certain number of appointments every single week. And I'll give you a real life example in my own life. So I want to close 100 or more transactions every year. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I close over 100, and I work less than 20 hours in my real estate business every week. I can do that because of my micro team. But even if I closed over 100 and I worked 40 hours a week. That would still be far superior than going somewhere and clocking in, clocking out. Okay. So you can do this too. But to close 100 transactions a year for me, I need to go on 3 to 7 listing or buyer appointments every single week. With my conversion ratio, if I'm going on that many appointments every week, I'm going to get enough listings and I'm going to sign enough buyers to close 100 transactions. That's even if some of the listings don't sell or even if some of the buyers don't find a property. Okay, we're accounting for fallout with this. So you can see how kind of working backwards and making it really granular to know I just need to have 3 to 7 appointments every week. And as long as I am tracking that number, I'm going to know, am I on track or am I off track? So that's the other thing that I'm going to take my students through is establishing the system of how to track, how to know if you are on track, and holding yourself accountable to holding those appointments. So you're probably thinking, that sounds great, going on appointments every week, but where are those appointments going to come from? Where are the conversations going to come from? So the next thing I take my students through is really taking an audit of what they're currently doing and what has worked in the past. So we look at where their business came from. We look at their lead sources. What has already worked for you? And I want you to ask yourself this question too. Make a list of all the transactions that you've done in the last year or maybe even 5 years. And then ask yourself, where did it come from? Did it come from a referral? Did it come from a sign call? Did it come from an open house? Where did the business come from? You are likely going to start seeing patterns within your own business. And what you're going to probably find is you haven't been focusing on some of these things, and that's why you've been slacking on them. So maybe you dropped open houses because we didn't need to do open houses. That's a perfect example. A lot of listing agents stopped doing open houses because houses were selling so quickly, it just wasn't necessary. We were getting multiple offers. But now with the interest rates rising, a lot of us, our houses are not selling within 2 or 3 days. It's not selling within a week. So we're needing to go back to the open house model. And that's what I'm doing in my business. And I'm actually, every time I do an open house, I gain a client. So I know that open houses work for me. That is a pillar, that is one of my strategies. So I'm going to ask my student, when we take that honest audit of their business, to identify what they really enjoyed doing. What were they really good at? And that's going to become one of their pillars. So we're going to first look at, I would say, sphere should be everyone. Everybody in real estate should have a sphere as a pillar of your business. And when I say pillar, what I mean is a whole strategy that you're focused on. So for me, my sphere and my past clients and my friends and family, we call that our VIPs. So we are reaching out to our VIPs on average 52 times every single year. We're doing that with a newsletter. We're doing that with client events. We're doing that with giveaways. We're doing that with birthday calls and cards and Christmas or Thanksgiving cards. So we are intentionally reaching out to our clients, our past clients in our sphere. And really it's highly unlikely that one of my past clients in sphere that I have been in touch with is going to want to use another agent. And what I'm going to do with my coaching clients, with the 3 that I'm going to take on, this is something we're going to help you establish. I'm going to help you develop that plan. I'm going to help you get this on your calendar so that you make sure that that is happening within your business. So having a full plan for your sphere and your past clients is key to changing the rest of the year for you, and also 2024. My goal with this, the last 90 days, is not only to help my coaching client to get their head right, get a game plan, get their systems in place, but also to develop the daily habits that it takes to get these consistent results. Because what did I say? Consistent effort yields consistent results. And, I will say this, we are the first to let ourselves off the hook. You've probably heard the saying, we judge ourselves by our intentions, but others by their actions. And what that means is we're often quick to let ourselves off the hook because we know our intention. We know we intended to make those calls, but the baby was sick, or we intended to write that newsletter, but this came up. So it's okay. I'm going to let myself off the hook. But here's the thing, if you continue to let yourself off the hook, you're just going to get that much farther and farther behind, and you're not going to see the needle move in your business. So then I'm going to help my student, and I want you to do this as well, to develop two other lead sources. The second lead source, so that, remember, the first one is your sphere and your past clients. The second lead source should be your online presence. This should be in the form of your website with some sort of a lead capture component, but also your social media presence. This could be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you are most comfortable with, and that you can commit to being consistent on. And so I'm going to go through a social audit for my students to really optimize their social media profile and their presence and help them create a marketing schedule that they can stick to. That's not going to take, remember, what my goal is for my student to take 5 to 10 hours a week doing exactly what I tell them to do, and I'm guaranteeing that they're going to see results in their business. So you can do that too. And by the way, everything that I coach on is available in our inner circle. So maybe you're not at the position where you can hire a one-on-one coach. Maybe you're just not ready to make that level of investment, but you want to have access to this information that I'm talking about right now. You can get my entire course in the inner circle for $97. Okay, we have the monthly group coaching program that includes our course. It's $97 a month. What an awesome investment to making yourself and your business. And if you go in there and you start watching those videos, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, and just put pen to paper and hold yourself accountable. And I hope that you can do that. I will say I feel like most people need that coach to kind of prod them along. But if you're self-started or if you're self-motivated, then dive into the inner circle. You will not regret that. Okay, the third thing that I'm going to do is help them develop the third pillar, and that is a cold lead source. So think of marketing and lead generation as two different sides. You have the passive side, which is more of the branding, where you're putting content out there with the intention for someone to reach out to you. And that part is so important. And definitely we're not going to skip that part. But there's the flip side of the lead gen, which is a active or more aggressive type of lead generation. And if you don't have transactions right now, you need to be aggressively lead generating daily. Otherwise, you're not going to see the results quick enough. You may see results from your passive efforts, but it's probably going to take you 3, 6, 9 months down the road. Whereas your active one, you could get a result right away that same day. And so the active lead is something that you're going after, you're initiating. That could be calling a for sale by owner, calling expired, calling back through your database. It could be door knocking, could be doing open houses, could be doing some ads or marketplace ads. So there's some strategic methods that I will give my students, and we teach in the inner circle, but just know that that's the concept. You have passive lead generation and you have active lead generation. So once we've established those, we know exactly what type of lead gen we're doing, then we're going to master our calendar. And I'm going to help my student, and I want you to do this too, design your perfect week, know when you're going to do everything, and start being married to your calendar. Repeat after me. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay, everything needs to go on your calendar. And when you start getting in that habit, you'll see why it's so life changing. It actually gives you so much freedom because you know that you really have control over your life. You can schedule in time to take a break or time to take the kids to the park or that family time that you do not want to break. Okay, but you also are scheduling in your lead gen time, you're scheduling in your marketing time, and you're going to hold yourself accountable to showing up for yourself as if every appointment that you have on there is $1 million listing appointment, because they are all that important. So that gives you kind of an overview of what we're doing in the last 90 days. Again, I'm taking 3 students through this. So if you want to apply, and I guarantee it's going to change your life, you can click on the link below, and we're going to be starting 1st of October. All right, moms. I will see you next week. Bye.